welcome once again to Let's Talk Marriage. This is Pastor Larry coming to you this Wednesday afternoon with Let's Talk Marriage. All right. Welcome. All right, we're going to get right on into our program. I hope everyone is doing well. Guess what? If you woke up this morning, you are doing well. We're going to get right on into our program. Again, hope everyone is doing well. But we're expecting a lot of snow here, so we are trying to prepare for that. Uh, Also, what we're going to be talking about on the program today is we're going to be talking about working together as married couples working together. The reason why we're talking about this is because a lot of marriages don't or didn't last a long time simply because people are not working together like they used to. You know, one little argument, they're ready to split up and go home and all that. But we have to learn to work together as married couples and support each other. We talked about that on the program a lot of times about supporting each other. So we have to learn to support each other, and when we learn to support each other, things go a lot better because everything is it. And we said on the program also that marriage is not hard. We make it hard. So when the hard times come, you have to learn to work through those hard times, pray through those hard times. You should get closer during the hard times, but people nowadays during the hard times, they split up, break up, and because they can't weather the storm. You have to weather the storm because when you took those vows, it says for better, for worse, richer, for poor, sickness and in health. So you have to learn to support each other. And as long as your spouse is trying and you both are trying, you can work it out and you have a chance to make your marriage work. Also, when you learn to stick things out, you're setting an example. And we've always mentioned that on the program also, that you set an example for your children. Because as your children grow, they watch what goes on between mom and dad. They watch them. And when they go to look for a spouse, if they have a good dad, they'll look for the young ladies will look for someone with the same characteristics as their father. And the young men, same thing. If they if they have if they watch their mom and they see their mom is a very virtuous woman, they'll when they go to look for a spouse, they'll look for a virtuous woman and with the same characteristics as mom does. And these are the things that make a marriage work when you work together. And when you work together, you also is scriptural or that you work together. The Bible always mentions about the man being the head. That doesn't mean has to be a tyrant. Being the head does not mean you being a tyrant. It just means that you're setting the pace to lead into marriage. And sometimes we just get our roles mixed up in the marriage. We want to take over at different spots in the marriage and run all over each other. But we have to learn to work together, and working together makes the marriage work. And again, it's not going to be good times all the time. It's what we make of it and what we put into it and what we bring to the table. You don't want someone that or be careful, when you're seeing someone before you get married. And we talked about that on the program also. Before you get married, that's why it's important, very, very, very important that you noticed all the characteristics of that person that you're contemplating on getting married to, or they ask you to marry them, or you're thinking about marrying them, make sure you see them in all elements. See them when they're angry. See them when they're happy. Know them when they're happy. You have to know these people, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of times the marriages can't go forward is because you didn't never get to know these people. You never closed chapters from a previous relationship, and that contemplate on things that uh, working together. And when you're not working together, you're setting the pace for things to happen badly in the marriage, things to come across as being too much to bear, and because when you get to know a person, you'll know if they're going to be abusive. You can tell that right away. If they're going to be an abusive person by the way they react with other people, and watch them when they're in when they, like for instance, you go out to dinner with them, how they treat their waitress. Those things are important, how they react, and when they go in the store, how they treat the clerks. Because if they explode with someone they don't know, you know, who's to say they won't explode with you? So you have to, those are the things you have to keep your eye on. And that stops people or hinder people from working together in a relationship. And when you're working together, you're supporting each other, and we talked about that a lot on the program too, supporting each other and working through those. Because again, everything is not going to be honeymoon every day. Everything is not going to be where you're just flowing through life and like they do in the movies. It's not like a movie. It's real life, and real life is what you make of it. Now you can make it, as if you were just flowing through and enjoying each other. By enjoying each other and working together helps you to enjoy each other, and when you have each other's back, and those are the things that make a successful marriage. And we as our people, we have a tendency to look up to the wrong people, especially nowadays, because we don't really have role models anymore like we used to back in the day. You had a lot of role models and people that set the pace for things, and like now, I feel for the younger couples coming up now because they don't have any role models. They're come from single parents homes, and they don't know have necessarily have a role model, especially someone to like if you're trying to have a role model or looking for a role model from a father figure or something. You don't have that because dad's not there, and sometimes even mom is not there, and there's no role model there to follow or to uh, pick up the things that you've learned from them, because that's how you learn in a marriage. You learn how to persevere. You learn how to be patient. You learn how to be kind, based on what you see in the home when you're coming up. And I saw it on my side of the family through my mom. My mom was a single mom as well, but I also had a father figure with my grandfather. He was a great father figure because he was married to my grandmother for many, many years. I believe it was over 60 years that they were married. And so he set the pace, and I saw how they reacted, how they interacted with each other. So that's how I had that role model within him. So if you're coming up in life, and sometimes the Lord will place people in your life to be a role model, even though you might not have sometimes you might not even have a close family member that you can use as a role model. God will place someone in your life that will be a role model. In my case, it was my grandfather. He was a minister, and and things like that. And I saw how he was with my grandmother. He was a very even after they had got older and older, they still were very loving couple that supported each other, and which is very important. Again, supporting each other. That's what we're talking about, working together. And they worked together for many years, even though they had so many obstacles in their way. They had so they came from the south and moved to the north where they didn't really know anybody when they first came here. Because I believe they came up here in the I want to say in the 50s. That's when they came up here in the 50s or 60s. That's when they came up here. It might have been the early 60s, I want to say, that they came up here. And so they were great role models. So we have to make sure that we are working together in these marriages. And again, everything is not going to be uh, flowers. Everything's not going to come up daisies. Everything is not going to be just spectacular. But when you work together, things go very well in your marriage, and you learn to work through these things. And that's what the problem is with a lot of young couples. They don't know how to work through things. You have to learn to work through things, and when you learn to work through things, your marriage will work by working through things. And and again, we mentioned on the program as well, part of a great part of working together as a married couple is attending church together as a family. That is so important, and we've mentioned it so many times on the program about attending church together, because it sets a foundation. You have a foundation and something to build on when you attend church together. Years ago, people all went to church. If you have nothing else to do, you went to church. Even if you had something else to do, you still went to church. And this is how and people would have a fit if they had a job that had them working on Sundays. They would go to the boss man and say, "Hey, I go to church on Sunday. Can I at least get one Sunday or every other Sunday off?" Or I remember years ago when I worked retail, I had every other Sunday off, so I would make sure I'd be at church on every other Sunday. And people nowadays, they just don't go, and that's part of a great part of why people are not working together. Because if you have that spiritual foundation in your marriage, you'll learn how to work together, and it helps you to go through those hard times by trusting in the Lord, trusting in the sanctity of marriage and things like that. So make sure when you before you walk down that aisle, we're going to be addressing that in on future programs. We always have that segment every year where we talk about walking down the aisle and the things you do before you get married. Before you get married, but right now we're talking about working together as married couples. And when you work together, it makes everything go smoothly, even though you're going through the rough times, because you can go smoothly through rough times. Just working together and having each other's back, loving on each other. And again, life is so short, and with life being short, it's no time for uh, long disagreements, shutting each other out, sleeping in separate rooms, and all that, and sleeping on the couch. It's no time for that. We have to make sure that we are working together as married couples, and when you work together, it makes everything a lot easier to go through when you go through those rough times. If you're going through it with your spouse, or your spouse is sticking with you through the rough times, you're sticking with each other and saying, "Hey, it's gonna be all right. Hey, it's gonna be okay." Praying through those times, and when you pray through those times, God will bring you out of those times. And I know from firsthand how God will bring you out of things. And this is Pastor Larry. I'm going to be signing off. We're going to be in the future. We're going to be addressing some other things, and hope you tune in. Make sure you're sharing this video with your friends, with your family. Share it several times with family and friends, and whoever you share it with, tell them to share it with someone else, and get our views up. And we just enjoy being here with you, and we thank you for your support. And we have some people that's always, complimenting, and they always giving positive feedback. There's nothing wrong with giving your feedback. I support all your feedback. You can put it on your likes and things like that to support us. And we are here to help you if you have any problems or issues. I am studied to family counseling. Have a degree in family counseling. So if you have any questions or you have any concerns, you can call myself or my wife, and we'll be glad to talk with you. And again, we want to take this opportunity to invite you out to our services at New Zion Christian Center. We're located at 15014 Splain Street in Plainfield, Illinois. And coming up by March the 30th, we're going to be having a family and friends day at our service. The dinner is going to be at 2 o'clock, and 3:30 we're going to go into the family and friends service, and hope to see you there. And we're coming out to encourage God's people. This is Pastor Larry, and till we meet again with Let's Talk Marriage.